The outside centre, the number 13, the hard-running ball carrier of the backline, used to smash through players in both attack and defence. But there is much more to this position than being a hard runner. So let's get right into it. 3 ways to become a better outside centre. Number 1. Defensive control. In defence, the 13 has a very important role, sometimes seen as the defensive leader. From a set piece, the 13 is at the end of the line before any winger or fullback are needed. Therefore, if the attack get around the outside centre, typically the defence are in trouble. The defending 13 does, however, have a good view of the game and should always be aware of what's happening both inside and outside of them in both attack and defence. Therefore, the 13 can take charge of determining if the defence are going to drift, blitz or any other defensive strategy. Here you can see Brian O'Driscoll bossing the defence, going from a blitz to a drift when the ball goes out the back, threatening the space out wide. One slightly more advanced skill a 13 can do in defence is knowing when to come up out of the defensive line and cut out the attack. This can be to just cut out the options and stop the attack being able to use the overlap out wide, or it may be putting in a hard, aggressive hit, similar to what I discussed in the winger video. Shooting up alone is a high risk, high reward play. It can come off very well for the defence, however, the attack can easily beat you by either running at an angled line in the gap you just left, or a simple miss pass to the overlapping players. The 13 can mitigate these risks by leading what is known as the umbrella defence. I will do a separate video about this in the future. However, the core concept is that the defence come out of the line quickly on the outsides of the field, creating an umbrella shape and pushing the attack towards the centre of the field and not allowing them to use their out wide players. In conclusion, a 13 must not only be a technically good defender, but more importantly, a tactically good defender, being able to read the attack, understand what is needed in defence, and then lead the defensive line. Number 2. Defence manipulator. So this time we're looking at an attacking 13. The traditional idea of a 13 is being the go-to hard runner, smashing through the middle of the field. Running at an angle back against the drifting defence can be difficult to stop, as the defence will be focusing on the ball and the 13 is coming from their blind spot, going against their direction of travel. Even if the 13 doesn't break through, they should be able to at least get over the gain line and generate quick ball, giving great opportunities out wide. This example is from my other video about a popular 2-phase move in rugby, which highlights the importance of quick ball. Smashing through the midfield is an important role, however it serves a bigger purpose. A great 13 is constantly trying to manipulate the defence. As discussed before, the 13 can hold the key to the defence. So if you're able to pick the lock of your opposition, everything opens up. Running back against the defence and breaking tackles makes the defence watch you, and a good 13 will use this to their team's advantage without needing to touch the ball. Look at this example. The 13 runs an aggressive line back against the drifting defence, which stops them in their tracks. A missed pass from the 12 leaves them in acres of space. Go check out my video on the blocker pattern and become an expert at running the blocker line. Then go look at the play breakdowns on my Instagram. I guarantee half of them have the 13 running the blocker pattern, leaving someone in the back 3 to score. Just by being a threat to the opposition, the defensive attention can be controlled and opportunities generated. Now, manipulating the defense is not just about running hard angles and being a dummy option. Another key is being able to overcome the defensive concepts we talked about in part 1. This means being able to do the basics well. There's an old joke about the centres that the 12 can't pass and the 13 won't pass, which is a very dated idea but does highlight a trap a 13 can fall into. When a 13 gets the ball, typically, as we've discussed before, if they get outside their opposite number, there's a high chance of a try. Very simple, but at low level rugby, it's not surprising to see a 13 try and go to the space themselves, instead of doing what you should do, a simple draw and give. As a 13, if you're able to get the ball in hand, draw the opposite outside defender and get the ball out to the wingers or fullback, your team should have a very good opportunity at gaining some serious metres. In conclusion, a 13 will be able to run a great line, back against the defence and bust through tackles, but more importantly, they'll be able to manipulate the defence by doing this. Alternatively, they must be able to unlock the faster players outside of them, whether this is running good dummy lines or just having some great hands to get the ball out wide. Number 3, forwards play. The final point to look at is working with the forwards. This might seem a bit of a strange concept when the 13 is one of the furthest players away from the pack, but during open play it's very likely that they'll be working directly with the forwards, especially as systems like 1-3-3-1 become the norm. A 13 must be able to operate amongst the forwards. This firstly means that they need to have a good attacking decision making and ball handling skills, much like a fly half. They need to be able to pick the right option out of a pod at the right time and enable the forwards to do their work and generate quick ball. This again is a relatively simple skill for a player. However, for a 13, they need to be comfortable giving the ball to a winger running at full pace, but also a slow moving front rower in heavy traffic. Each have their own challenges, and a good 13 will be able to easily do both. On the flip side, a good 13 will not only work with their forwards, but be happy to operate as one. As mentioned before, the outside centre wants to release the fullback and wingers, but then they must support them. A tackle on the opposite side of a field from a scrum is a prime opportunity for a turnover due to lack of support. The 13 must be able to secure the ball and maintain possession. Additionally, in attack, the 13 running hard lines back against the defence puts them in a great position to hit a ruck in the middle of the field and help generate quick ball. Good examples of this are when the 12 and 13 work together and one is able to support the other in contact, secure the ball and get it available quickly without needing many of the forwards. A great 13 will be able to use their size and strength almost like an additional loose forward, be able to take contact well, know when to stay on their feet and when to go to ground. So that's 3 ways to become a better outside centre: defensive controller, defensive manipulator and forward play. Thanks very much for watching. If you want to make your own rugby animations, please head over to animator.rugbyslate.com, and if you want more rugby content, please check out my other videos on this channel.